Okay, hi Kathy. How are
Hello,
you?
hello. Happy
So,
Friday.
it's Friday, our Friday call, and I wanted to talk today about memberships,
Ooh.
right? That's kind of a hot topic right now. About this time every year, I start seeing a buzz around memberships. There's a gentleman that does a membership training course, which is fantastic, and he
Hmm.
creates this buzz. But I get a lot of questions myself, and being in the website industry, I get questions from clients a lot about different business models and business questions. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about memberships and more general, the sorry, the recurring income model, right? Because a membership is kind of an umbrella term that could mean a lot of things, right? And so, so what is a membership? Well, it's anything from a club, like joining a gym, right? That's a
Right,
membership, to a recurring service or utility, like joining Netflix. That's a membership, right? That's more than a utility. Even
right,
paying your electric bill could be considered. It's certainly a recurring income model, right? It's a
right.
service or product that you consume regularly and that you pay for on a month to month basis. So I think it's really expanded beyond kind of those traditional models to industries like healthcare, right? Dentists realized a long time ago that biannual cleaning was great for tooth health, right? It helps keep your teeth and
Right.
gums healthy, but it also supports recurring customers, right? And recurring income because of that. And then more recently, we've seen other areas of healthcare that maybe were more reactive have become more preventative and created this recurring model around that. So, for example, chiropractors, right? Same thing, regular chiropractic care can be beneficial. And so we're seeing more and more businesses. There's some name brand ones out there, some franchises, but even independents creating these recurring memberships. So you'd pay a monthly fee, and that might entitle you to a weekly adjustment or a monthly adjustment, whatever that is. So what I get asked a lot is, what kind of businesses are a good fit for that? And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And Kathy, I know you belong to a couple of memberships, so
Do.
interject when it makes sense. But my own business is a membership, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about that experience and how I changed from a traditional website development model, which is very project based, to a recurring income model or a membership that serves both my customers better and my own business goals better. So businesses that are a good fit is really anything that provides an ongoing value, right?
Right. Where
Um,
people would be asking you questions and yeah.
on an ongoing basis, right? So you might think of a business that comes out and provides a one-time service. Like, for example, I have a friend that runs a handyman business, right? And so she gets calls and she says, that say, I need you to come out and do some drywall repair. Okay, that's a one-time service. She sends her guys out, they do the drywall repair. But there's an opportunity for her to create an ongoing relationship with that customer. And especially in the area she's in, there's a lot of older people that need that kind of assistance regularly around the house. And so she has a home watch offering. We're in Arizona, so a lot of snowbirds, right? People leave for the
Yeah.
summer. They're not even here. They want someone to keep an eye on their house, pick up the newspaper, brush the leaves and debris away so the house doesn't look abandoned, right? And
Right.
keep it safe, and also monitor for things like my hot water heater broke and flooded my house. So a home watch service offered by a handyman business is a great fit for a recurring income model. She also has a recurring offering that's quarterly, and it's like seasonal type winterization, right? Or changing air
Right.
filters once a quarter or once a month, um, checking the batteries in the smoke detectors, making sure, that water heater is functioning properly and not leaking and going to cause a problem in the future. So that's a great kind of ongoing recurring income model, a membership or a subscription business that she fit into a more traditional service business.
I'm glad to hear somebody has done that, because Ron, my husband, tried that years ago, and it was a beautiful thing. He had all, but he couldn't get people to pay for it. They were just going to wait till everything broke or whatever.
You know,
And he
that's
said, it's so sad, because if you keep up, it's
yeah,
less money.
exactly. And that's
Yep.
an interesting kind of challenge that a lot of people have. And, you know, coming from a marketing perspective, marketing background, I think there's lots of ways to find the people, because really when it comes down to a membership model, you don't need tons and tons of people, right? You
Right.
need, you can run a full-time business with less than 100 customers, right? Depending on what you're offering, what the value is. But, you know, if you look at just some kind of basic numbers, 100 customers, right, at an $85 a month profit, get you to over $8,500 a month, which over the course of a year is over $100,000 a year, right? So that's a great income model. So thinking about my business, you know, I'm in website development, and back in 2018, prior to 2018, I was running my business the way so many website developers do, right? You go out, you submit a proposal, you sell a customer on a new website. So there's a whole process of that, right? Identifying what they need, writing a scope document, sending them a proposal, and then you win that project. You typically get 50% up front, and then the rest when the site launches. And that can be anywhere from, you know, 6 weeks to 3 months, or sometimes more, depending on the customer. Sometimes it takes a long time for them to get together the things that they want on their website and make decisions, etc. So that model led to this kind of roller coaster of income, right? Sell the project and then build the website. And then once, and you're consumed with building that website, and maybe you've got 2 or 3 projects going at the same time, but you're not selling while you're building, right? And so then that ends, and then you got to go back into the selling cycle. So it's this kind of constant up and down of income. So in 2018, I changed that. What I got from a lot of my customers was, okay, now the site's launched. Well, what now, right? I want to enhance it. I want to add a contact form or more complex contact form. I want to integrate my email capabilities. You know, I want to do all these additional things with my website. What, does our relationship just end because now my website is launched? So
that's what I do with you. I have a subscription with you for that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I saw a need there, and I bundled together the hosting and the security certificates and the ongoing maintenance of the website, plus some time each month for those kind of enhancements that businesses need. And I took the total cost of producing that website, right? And instead of it being 50% up front and 50% at the end, which can be, an average website is $2,500, right? So $1,250 up front and $1,250 then at the end of the site build. That's kind of a lot out of pocket for a lot of small businesses. So I adjusted that to a smaller upfront setup fee, and then an ongoing monthly fee, and then a term of 12 months. So that allowed me to build a membership model within kind of a traditional business. And
I was going to say, that's what made me choose you above a couple of other people, because you had that model, and people had told me you were so good at what you do.
Well, thank you.
What helped me.
I've gotten that a lot, and I've really found kind of a niche of businesses that that want and need that ongoing support, that want to turn over all the technical stuff with their website to an expert, and just not have to worry about all of the different pieces of
Worry-free sites, right?
Worry-free sites. That's what it's all about, right? And so that's a really good fit. And I was able to do that because I understood who my market was. I understood the value that I provide and who I'm serving. I have built websites for large companies. I've built websites for a regional grocery store that has 140 stores here in Arizona and the Southwest on a project basis. I've built sites for a yogurt franchise in this area. But that's not really my sweet spot, right? And really, and those were a few years ago, and anymore, my sweet spot is a small business that wants to turn over that technology but needs an affordable solution. What it did for my business was it took me off this roller coaster of project work, and it just evened out my income. My income is predictable now. I know exactly what's coming in when, and it made life so much easier and smoother from a business perspective, because it just, took that unpredictability away and made the income more predictable. So that's been a good fit for me. And I think the key was understanding what my clients needed, how I can support them on an ongoing basis, and building my model around that. So Kathy, tell me, I know you belong to a couple of memberships besides your website with me, right? So that's
Right.
one, but you have a couple of others that you belong to. And so talking about value, right? I think that's the biggest key in a membership, is understanding the value that we as a business bring to a customer. What value did you see from those memberships that you joined that kind of made you take that step and join them, besides mine?
I have it to two, and one of them is specifically about copywriting, and I'm the only person in there who's not a full-time copywriter. So we were able to do things back and forth. But the good thing there is, anytime I have a question about anything I'm working on, they are there for me. It's a really good, cohesive group.
Right.
And since we're all kind of in the same arena, because we're all writing things, we can trade off. Another one I have, actually, come to think of it, I have four with you, because a second one I have is with the lady that I took the course about cold emailing. And the good thing is, after I did that, she also has a membership, and it's a quarterly payment to her, where, when I'm ready to go out and send something to someone, she helps me say, well, with the business you're sending this to, maybe you could say such and such. She has just a really good magic formula. And the other one is the Espresso Plus, which a lot of people probably know about, with John Esperian. And he does a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. He's been a technical writer, so we have all that background. A lot of different businesses are in these groups. And I think that's what a lot of people forget about membership. A lot of different people in their own businesses are in here, and now we can trade off. I have found almost everyone to work with me on my book in one of those groups. So I wasn't handing anything that I couldn't do off to someone I didn't know. That's the place. And we talk about funnels and getting to know people, getting to know us and all that. That's the place you get to know, like, and trust people.
Sure. So some networking.
Like and trust you. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So some networking. So that's kind of the community aspect of it. And
Yes.
Lots of memberships have that kind of community aspect. Some do, some don't, right? Mine really doesn't. I work one-on-one with my clients, and my clients don't often meet each other. I do get a lot of referrals from them. So a lot of my clients know each other, but they
Right.
don't, within my business, they don't really have any overlap or any communication. But
Well,
they,
and you can send us to
Good.
people.
What's that?
You can send us to people, and that's how I found you.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone who works with you sent me to you. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
become a resource for our clients. That's absolutely right. There's a lot of other membership models out there, and some that I've even dabbled in, and one that I'm focusing on right now is subscription boxes. My family is working on putting together a subscription business that's inspired by Hawaii, our favorite place to vacation. And so more on that later, but that's another kind of business model. And we can talk about, in the future, we'll talk about subscription type businesses, recurring income businesses, and even clubs. And you kind of, the memberships that you belong to might kind of fit into that club space a little bit, right? Because that's the community. But even things like the gym membership model, right? And why why it works and why sometimes it won't work for people. That's kind of the low cost. Gyms make their money by volumes of people that join, and that their ability to retain those people, even if they don't come to the gym, right?
Right.
You think, well, I'm only paying $19 a month. I haven't been to the gym in 3 months, but I need to go to the gym, so I'm not going to cancel, right? And so you keep paying because that the value's there if and when you decide to go. But
By the way, I wanted to mention too, I was talking about paid memberships. There are all kinds of memberships that are free, but you can't really because there are questions I've had to ask in a couple of those groups where if it had been out just all over Facebook or all over LinkedIn, I couldn't have asked and I couldn't have gotten the help I got.
So that's an interesting point. And you're right, there's a lot of free information out there. And sometimes that prevents people from developing a membership, a paid membership in their space, because they think, oh, if you wanted to go learn how to run Facebook ads, there's thousands of videos on YouTube about running Facebook ads, right? But sometimes that's the solution that you provide is paring that all down to a concise message, right? Cutting through the noise that's out there in your space, because there's a ton of information and it's information overload and people don't know where to start, right? So sometimes a membership can solve that problem, and people are willing to pay for that. I don't want to go out and do the research myself. I just want you to tell me how to do it, right? And I'm willing to pay for that. So,
and it's a good place you can vent. So, I have this horrible client, help me out of this mess. Well, if you're out on just a regular where you don't know who's in the group and your client is following you.
Sure. Yeah.
They're going to hear that and they're going to see themselves there. And now you don't have a client anymore.
It can create a safe space, can't it?
Yeah,
You're right. It absolutely can.
It's absolutely worth it. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks for discussing that with me today.
Sure.
A good topic.
Sure.